Actress and activist Jameela Jamil has gained a huge following worldwide for her fearless advocacy for body positivity, mental health and inclusivity. As one of the stars of the popular TV show The Good Place, she's known for challenging beauty standards the entertainment industry upholds and for fighting for greater representation. We're very lucky that she's going to be touring Australia in April, and she joins us live now from Los Angeles. Welcome, Jameela, to News Breakfast.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, good. It's so good to talk to you. I feel like your message, but also your sense of humour, is going to really translate really well to Australian audiences.
I've been obsessed with Australia and Australian comedy since Muriel's wedding, which was back in the 90s. So I'm so excited. I've never been and I've always wanted to. It's just so far away from where I used to live. But I feel like I can make a 15-hour flight over, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone.
We'll welcome you with a coffee and with open arms when you get here after that flight. Jameela, you have been on our screens in recent years because there are just so many fans of The Good Place here in Australia, but also so many people who follow you on various different platforms. What have you been up to in the last couple of years after the show ended?
Well, I went and did Marvel, which was really fun. I heard you were just talking about them. I got to do She-Hulk with Mark Ruffalo and Tim Roth and Tatiana Maslany. That was really fun, playing a supervillain and learning how to do stunts, learning how to fight in the sky, which I never thought was something I would ever have to do. And then since then, just been working on Pixar projects, writing, podcasts, and a lot of movies that are now coming out, hopefully in the next 6 months. So I've been busy just keeping my head down and trying to work and trying not to get myself cancelled.
No one will ever cancel you. We're not cancelling you. You are staying right where you are. What do you love the most? Because you wear a lot of different hats. You're a writer, you're an activist, you speak a lot about body positivity online, you obviously still do some acting. What really lights your fires, or is it really all the different all the different things you do that keeps you motivated?
I think it's a mixture of everything. I think writing is where I feel the happiest and safest, mostly because I don't have to bathe, which I think is a huge win. And so I write newsletters on Substack, and that's one of my favourite things to do. I also will be announcing a book later this year, and I'm writing my first movie. So I think that's anything I can do to stay in my pajamas in my bed, and stay smelly and creative, I think is what I'm going to most pursue. But I enjoy, obviously, everything I get to do. At the moment, I'm working with Alicia Silverstone and Melissa Joan Hart, and I don't know how big Sabrina the Teenage Witch was in Australia, but it was huge in England. And of course, Clueless is so iconic, and so I'm working with just two of my childhood heroes at the moment, pinching myself in the middle of the snow in Canada, just freaking out every day that I was an English teacher, who never expected any of this for my life, and I'd never acted before my first audition, and now this is the life I get to live. And so I think I just feel very, very lucky. And I've spoken about it before as something like, I treat it as though it's like I've crashed a wedding, and so I'm just going to snog whoever I can and grab as much cake as I can before I get kicked out.
Get the cake.
And that's how I'm treating my time in Hollywood. And this is a perfect example of it. So it's just I'm having a lovely time.
That's good. Yeah, it seems like it's a really good place in your life. Before I let you go, I want to ask you about the incredible impact you've had on highlighting some of the toxic standards we see online. I mean, I think at the moment you're just bombarded by fit influencers, by people wanting to lose weight, by people retouching, by different diet supplements online. I think particularly of young girls growing up right now seeing this, how can they possibly escape it? And what sort of things do we need to do to really turn things around online?
Listen, I think if you have the internet, you know that especially if you input the details that you're a woman or a girl, you will be bombarded within, I think it's something like an average of 13 seconds before you're bombarded with diet and beauty influencers and adverts and weight loss adverts and all these different things that tell you aren't good enough the way that you are. And I think ultimately the way that I was able to recover from 20 years of anorexia myself was to recognize that there's a pattern here. Every time women seem to emerge as increasingly powerful example, we get suddenly prescribed by, I'm sure, pure coincidence, an obscene beauty standard that should distract us, that we're told that we have to meet in order to be accepted by society. You can track it back all the way through history. Anytime women make progress, suddenly we expect it to be unbelievably thin and try to emulate youth as much as possible. So now you've got all these brilliant women who've got all these wonderful lives to live and build and work towards, who are suddenly being reduced to thinking about nothing more than facelifts and weight loss and trying to look 21 for the rest of their life. You know, you see this with celebrities who are so accomplished and talented and brilliant, all of whom are transforming themselves to try to look like they've turned back the clock. And I think that that's really sad, because I see such value in older men and also equally in older women. I love the lines on a face. I love signs of time and gravity. I think it's such a privilege to get to grow older. And so I think a lot of what I most despair of is that we aren't making the most of women's time on this planet, because we are giving them obscene, absurd, double standard beauty standards to have to live up to. And it seems like an immense waste of our time, our money. It's painful. It can go wrong. And just frankly, I think, given that we are half the population, we deserve better. And I think that men are allowed to age in a way that is so peaceful compared to us. And I would love for that to be the case for women as well. You know, this isn't an attack on men. It's just advocacy for women.